Coming up on Mountain News this morning, law enforcement officers in our region continue their war on drugs with some help from members of the community. And the Commonwealth seems to be on the right track as we see a drop in positive cases in the fight against COVID.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning to you. It's Tuesday. It's just a little over. It's 6:01. I know how to tell time. It's a digital clock. Let's take it over to Brandon. Woo, man, I just feel like it's Monday. I mean, Brandon, I was looking right at the clock, and I'm just going to say it's a little past.
Dakota.
I don't know. It's Monday 2.0, as we sometimes call it around here.
It's 6:01:27, in case you're just, you're not
Got to get it down to the second.
Yes, it's okay though. It is Monday 2.0, so we're cruising along. But thankfully, we have some nice weather to make a go at it today. That will continue for another day before some action starts to pick up there. All right, take a look at it this morning, and you'll see over Pikeville at US 119, US 23 near Pikeville Commons. Things are pretty quiet this morning. No major issues over that way to start us out. But it's cold. 15 in Irvin and Ashland now are cold spots in the region. 27, actually 28 just went up on the air there. Williamsburg is now a warm spot. Wise has dropped to 25. So those temperatures fluctuating a lot this morning. Once the sun goes up, they're going to crank up quickly. But grab the coffee this morning. You're going to need all that you can get today because of the simple fact it is a cold start to the day. Make sure you warm your cars up this morning or check them for frost just in case. 58 is our forecast high today. We averaged 49, a record 73 back on this day in 2018. Dakota?
All right, Brendan, thank you. Well, it's no secret that drugs wreak havoc throughout the Commonwealth, including right here in our region. But one sheriff's office decided to take additional steps in combating the drug epidemic more than one decade ago. WYMT's Alyssa Williams has more.
In 2010, John Root took notice to the growing drug issue within Laurel County.
We had a real drug problem here in the county. More or less epidemic, I would say.
And when Root was elected as the Laurel County Sheriff that following year, he proposed a war on drugs.
And it has been a very, very successful fight. It's one that we fight 365 days a year, 24 hours a day.
Sheriff Root says the operation impacted Laurel County in a positive way, but especially in regards to methamphetamine. He adds that when he was elected, the office was seizing more than 300 one-step meth labs. But as of this year, they have not encountered any.
All of the people out there that's dealing in drugs, your day's coming.
Public Affairs Deputy for the Laurel County Sheriff's Office, Gilbert Achardo, says the office shares updates on the operation within the community via social media, which is a big asset for them.
And with us publicizing that and with us concentrating on that, we think that we're making a dent and that the public is aware of the problems that we have. And as a result, the public gives us a lot of the tips that we have. So we actually work together.
Achardo adds that in the future, he believes the operation will not only impact drug issues within the county, but also impact crime as a whole.
Most of your traffic fatalities, most of your burglaries and thefts, people are supporting their habit. So if we make a dent in the drug issues in Laurel County, then we're making a dent in all the crimes in Laurel County.
Looking to lessen the impact of drugs within Laurel County. In London, Alyssa Williams, WYMT Mountain News.
Those at the Laurel County Sheriff's Office say their canine unit is also a big asset to their war on drugs. The Laurel County Sheriff's Office currently has 2 dogs they use to assist in multiple tasks, including drug seizures and arrests. The dogs are trained to smell countless substances such as marijuana, heroin, and meth.
There's situations where we do a stop and we're suspicious that there's drug activity in the traffic stop, and we use the canine dogs to verify that there is drugs in the vehicle, and then we can get a search warrant, or oftentimes we get a consent to search.
To keep up with the office's war on drugs operation, you can visit the Laurel County Sheriff's Office Facebook page. We have a link to that on our website at WYMT.com. The USDA has confirmed the presence of a highly pathogenic avian influenza here in Kentucky. Now, the last time avian flu was detected in Kentucky was 2017, but that was the less contagious strand. Dr. Katie Flynn, the Kentucky State veterinarian, says the outbreak does not pose a food safety risk to humans as long as your food is cooked properly. Still, she says there's a risk for people with chickens of their own.
So if your poultry, your backyard chicken, goes out and has interactions with wild birds, there's a potential for spread of that virus. So everyone has to make sure that their birds are protected.
A team of Kentucky, Tennessee, and federal agriculture officials have created a 10-kilometer quarantine zone around a farm in Fulton County to prevent the spread of the virus. Governor Andy Beshear says if positive trends continue, Kentucky could move out of the red zone designation and into the orange or yellow by the middle of March. WYMT's Zach Hawk has the latest data and an update from Dr. Stephen Stack on pregnancy and vaccinations.
The governor says if weekly COVID-19 cases and positivity rates continue to decrease, he wants to update guidance for the state workforce by March.
Certainly, the trajectory is exactly what we want to see. Steadily, if not quickly, dropping.
Hospitalizations continue to decline, allowing the National Guard deployment helping with hospital capacity to pull back, with 318 Guard members still deployed. Despite the good-looking trends, Omicron has been a difficult wave.
That is still the 6th highest caseload that we have had in the pandemic.
Commissioner of the Department for Public Health, Dr. Stephen Stack, urged pregnant women to get vaccinated, saying there is no evidence of adverse maternal or fetal effects.
There is, in fact, a growing body of evidence that supports not only there's the absence of harm, but that they are demonstrably safe.
Stack shared some cited risks, including preterm delivery and a small increased risk of stillbirth.
Vaccination helps to mitigate or almost entirely prevent most of those bad outcomes. So we can take something that is thankfully an uncommon bad outcome and make it almost a non-existent outcome.
Governor Beshear concluded with news of continued support for displaced Kentuckians in the wake of the tornado outbreak and plans from the Ford Motor Company to build a training facility in Glendale. Zach Hawk, WYMT, Mountain News.
Dr. Stack also shared the latest on a subvariant of Omicron being called BA2. Early reports suggest this variant may be even more contagious than the current BA1 Omicron that overtook Delta. Now, at this time, officials do not believe it to be significantly different, but are continuing to monitor and urge masking in crowded locations. Well, this morning, lawmakers will hear testimony for a bill that would prohibit public schools and colleges from requiring masks. One of the bill's co-sponsors says it's time to cut what he calls the COVID cord and adds he believes the masks requirement are, quote, akin to child abuse. House Bill 51 will put the decision in the parents' hands and prohibit public schools and colleges from mandating them. The bill would not ban masks from being worn at schools, just the enforcement from the districts. Well, during Monday's Issues and Answers, WYMT anchor Steve Hensley sat down with Kentucky Attorney General Daniel Cameron. Now, they talked about a wide variety of topics from COVID-19 vaccine lawsuits to abortion and those high power bills we're all seeing. We have the recap of the interview. We have received countless messages from people telling us their power bills are too high, some even hundreds of dollars more than in previous months. Attorney General Daniel Cameron says his office is hearing complaints from Kentuckians.
There's a what's called the fuel adjustment clause that kicks in whenever there's a fluctuation in energy levels.
He says his office is in contact with the Public Service Commission to help restrain the fuel adjustment clause, but the AG also blames Washington.
Is a climate agenda right now that takes into consideration the ideas and thoughts of a few at the expense of many.
The Attorney General's office argued a pro-life case before the Supreme Court in October. The AG says it is over their ability to defend House Bill 454 that bans live dismemberment abortions.
The Sixth Circuit Court of Appeals basically said that we didn't have the right to continue defense of that law.
A ruling is expected in the coming weeks. He says he is hopeful for a favorable ruling.
We will then be able to go back to the Sixth Circuit Court of Appeals where they told us we couldn't continue defense of the law and continue defending the law.
The Attorney General was involved in lawsuits challenging President Joe Biden's vaccine mandates.
When it comes to OSHA federal contractor, and Head Start, we're in a good spot with those.
The AG says vaccine mandates should not be a decision made by the federal government. In Hazard, Dakota Makris, WYMT Mountain News. Well, the cost of living is going up. You have probably noticed one of the biggest hits is, well, at the gas pump. A gallon of gas is nearly $1 more than this time last year. Travel experts say the cost of crude oil has gone up, which is why we are seeing higher prices at the pump. Lori Weaver Hawkins with AAA Bluegrass explains more people are on the road, driving up demand for oil. She also says what is happening internationally is also having an impact.
Current situation with Russia and the Ukraine is playing into what we're seeing with crude oil prices going up.
Experts say it is not clear how long gas prices will increase, but they say we can expect higher prices as long as crude oil remains in short supply and in high demand. Experts also recommend checking your tire pressure and carrying lighter loads in your car.
6:11 here on this cold Tuesday morning. We are looking at some temperatures that are in the teens in most locations right now, but some 20s out there as well. From 15 in Irvin and Ashland to 28 at Williamsburg. That is our range this morning, but there's more teens out there than anything, so bundle up as you head out the door. That will change as the sun comes up. We're going to quickly climb into the upper 50s later today for most areas. It's going to be a calm day, but as we look ahead, we are going to see the very mild trend for one more day before we see a late week cold front. That's going to be a big time playmaker, maybe some strong to severe thunderstorms on that. A nice weekend, though, after that, once we get past that front on Thursday. Dakota?
All right, Brendan, thank you so much. At 6:12, coming up, tensions over in Europe could cause some items on your grocery list to see some jumps in their prices. We'll tell you how in just a few minutes.